Okay? So please, let's get the love going. Bit more energy, bring it on. And please welcome on stage the wonderful Mr. Justin Prescott.
Good evening. Good evening. Right, my name's Justin Cole Prescott. Yeah, I work at Silcox. I've been there for 25 years. Worked there, started when I was 17. And my first job was on the prize bingo. Did anyone used to play the prize bingo at Funland? We were the number one on the prom. And you know what? We had a colour-blind bingo caller. I haven't got a joke for that, it was just funny. So I thought I'd mention it, yeah, colour-blind bingo caller. But you know, the prize bingo, the 80s and the 90s was the heyday of the prize bingo. But you know, the prizes were shit. They were like straight out the Ratner's catalogue. And do you know what the prizes was that shit? Even the charity shops wouldn't take them, so we used to get all the rejects. So I'd be there, the old days used to love it, and they'd be queuing, you know, they'd be sat there. Sunday afternoon after Mass would be particularly busy. And they'd be there with their cup of tea in one hand and a fag in the other, calling bingo, flirting with the lads. Come on, shake your balls. So do you know what, I had to. So we'd be flirting back with them. It went a bit like this. Okay, have you all in lit and ready? It's any line down, across, diagonal, or one in each of your four corners. Yellow getting plenty, blind 20. Blue dirty Gertie at number 30. She was dirty as well. Red, they look like Stilton, legs 11. That's a slow one, that is. Yellow, how I like 'em, sweet 16. Green, how I get them, 74. You know how you get 100 pensioners to say fuck? You get one of them to shout house. Anyway, so even though I was still working in Southport, I moved away a few years ago, and I thought, do you know what, I best just Google Southport, because you know things may have changed since I've been away. So on Google, a few nights back, I typed in Southport is. And in third place, it came up, is a nice place to live. You know, seems fair enough. In second place, came up, is a terrorist target. Then it's true. Google it, Southport is a terrorist target. Now I know everybody thinks the Kingsway was destroyed by Al-Qaeda. Apparently the infidel Western horse who would do anything for a Pernod and Coke. It wasn't anything to do with them. No, it's a big transatlantic hub where every call from America comes into queue. And do you know how they hide the fact? It handles like 25 million calls simultaneously. You know how they handle it? You can't get a fucking signal in Southport, can you? But no, the other thing, whilst I was searching in first place when you Google Southport, is that Southport is the European capital of dogging. Seriously, do you know what dogging is? Mum, do you know what dogging is? Dogging, let me explain. Dogging is a bit like a car boot sale. Okay? You know, there's a couple in a Volvo, they pull up onto a field. The boot's opened, there's a couple of old washed up antiques in the back. And there's a load of men hanging around the car going, will you take a tenner? But no, do you know, it's an absolute hotbed, Southport, and it happens just up by the Esplanade. Everyone know where the Esplanade is? Yeah, you can Google it later. You can find it dead easy, right at the end of the prom. Apparently there's that many old people dogging in Southport that the council are thinking of putting some disabled parking bays down there. Do you know, it kind of almost gives a whole new meaning to the word coffin doggers. Do you know, there's even been a petition for them to extend the park and ride bus to the ride and park. No, you can find it dead easy. Just kind of follow the smell of deep heat and denture grit. It's so easy. And you know, it's right across from the Caravan Club, you know. So I've always thought caravanners were fucking weirdos. You know, a caravan is just basically a portable brothel. That's all it is. But you know, also, ladies, if your husband has been longer than 2 hours at Morrison's, and he comes back, it's the right end of town, and he comes back, and it looks like his car's covered in seagull shit, he's been dogging. And that isn't seagull shit. Sorry. Anyway, do you know, Enda wanted me to just mention the Ramada are doing a special dogging package. You know, weekends, for those of you who don't like caravans. Anyway, coming into Southport quite regularly, I'm quite lucky I get to kind of see my mum and dad. And a while back, you know, now that my roles have been reversed, I'm kind of teaching them stuff. You know. So, it's difficult when your mum's here, isn't it? So, do you want my mum's dead easy? All she's interested is in entering the Daily Mail numbers. You know the Daily Mail numbers? That's all she uses her computer for. My dad, a while back he said, you know, at the beginning he was alright, he was just like kind of creating homemade Christmas cards and shit like that. And then he said to me one day, he goes, I want a webcam. I thought, do you know what, I know what I used to use a webcam for. Well, we haven't even got any relatives in Australia. So anyway, got him a webcam. And then next came that day that everybody dreads, is when they get a friend request from the dad. So I accepted him. And my dad doesn't get Facebook etiquette. I'm like saying to him, Dad, do you know those Eastern European girls aren't real? The other day he commented on a photo, and it said, what an amazing, graceful example of feminine beauty and gracefulness. And it's a picture of some Russian whore with holding a vodka bottle up a Smirnoff, you know what I mean? He doesn't get it. So then my dad went on holiday, and he got tagged in some wedding photos. His own wedding. He hadn't fucking told us. He was in the Philippines, and he's married a Filipino woman with 4 kids. I can't work out whether my dad's being charitable or gullible. I'm just lucky he didn't go to Thailand, you know, otherwise I would have ended up with a stepdad. With tits. Anyway, I said to him, Dad, you know what I mean? Going out to the Far East is expensive, it'd be cheaper just to get your car taxed and insured and get down to the Esplanade. Anyway, that's where I'm off now to shake my balls. Thank you very much. Good night.
I thought the prizes were pretty good, folks. You alright now? You settled, reset? It's alright, man. How did you do that? Behind that lady's head, you pulled a bottle of a Pia Stella.